can equip one of the 2 males, you can only equip 2 of the 3 shields, and you can only equip 3 of the 4 swords.
All right, and it looks like we're started here.
Yeah, so let's see how... So we're starting here, and we get a map check immediately. 5-6, Skull Woods and Misery Mire. There's also a couple pendants I saw as well, but I didn't quite get all that
We had a Swamp and Pod were pendants, and I think Swamp was the green.
Ooh.
So, what you're seeing on Ninban's, not Ninban's, but dataworld side is a very common opening. He's going to go ahead and he's going to check a couple of things here. He's going to see what's there on Bumper Cave. And then he's going to probably go into Skull Woods and farm some bombs. And then clear out some items in there.
Yeah, Ninban's doing a similar strat, grinding the poultry there and hoping that he found a bomb for Hype Cave. Sadly, it was just arrows. But it looks like he didn't get the kill on the poultry side. So he's going to go check Stumpy instead. So data roll here in this group. There's our power glove. Very nice find. Data roll here if I had challenge open. I believe he is one of the 2 highest seeds or 2 highest players in this group right now. There's still a lot of matches left to go, but he is, I believe, 8-1 currently in the group, and Ninban is a little bit further down. Yeah, Ninban is currently 3-6.
So, dataworld did take an intentional death there. He's farming bombs and magic. Something you really need early right now.
And Ninban's going to take advantage of the 300 rupees at Link's house, it looks like, and just play the digging game. Not for rupees more so, but for magic. The reward is 20 rupees, though, so not really worth it. The gloves are a nice find. I'll say that much.
Ninban's really trying to find bombs. And there's our first sword.
Alright, so Uncle will have Master Sword for us later when we get to him. And Dataworld did find a shield as well.
So, Dataworld's in a really good position now. He can check Hype Cave, which is probably going to have something. So, the thing about Inverted is that your Sphere 1 locations are... There's way less Sphere 1 locations that are available to you. Bit more dispersed.
Net flippers, so, 20. Alright.
There's a little bit of progression there.
And a return on his investment. I'd say that's worth. So Flippers gives us access to check the hint in Ice and also to check House of Darkness. East side of Darkworld is open to us. And the Seed might want us to go over there. We obviously don't have a bow to make it ideal for going into House of Darkness, but maybe Catfish has our answer.
So because we got a lot of money early in, what you're probably not going to see is people playing the archery game.
Yeah.
There's a consistent setup for it. In this case, we're good here. We've got money. The
consistent setup for those who want to learn it is aim for when the target is at the second curtain, you'll hit it every time. Like in the center of the second curtain rung. Now both runners with that sword. And someone's asking where the gloves was. That was at Stumpy has our gloves today. Alright, so this is our first look into the Village of Outcast area, I believe. So we're about to see what Sea House has for us. And it's our bow. Okay. Pod suddenly looking like a very valuable play now.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and I mean, like, that could be at the top of the runners' heads now, especially since they don't have to go farming for money for Kiki, which can be a real issue in Inverted.
Yeah, but if you get the money for Kiki, even if you aren't particularly good at the archery game, there's plenty of money in the basement of Pod that you can easily grab on your way out. So once again, folks, we have an all dungeons inverted, hard difficulty Uncle Assurancy for you folks tonight. We're gonna hopefully get those symbols up for you there that the bot is mentioning here in just a little bit. In the meantime, though, we are seeing dataworld entering these down here. Only some ammo on the first chest, but always nice to have some extra ammo. And we are seeing the pod play from Ninban, and he did not pick up the bow, I think. So let's hope it's not a bow-locked start here.
I'd say finding the bow so early in Sphere 0 or Sphere 1, yeah, we'll have to see. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no bottle to take advantage of a potion glitch. And Ninban is set up perfectly for a Death Warp here as well. And we are not bow locked. Or at least, not yet. Dataworld is continuing on to approach blind here. Could be good, could be bad, we'll see. Ninban's second chest is a small key, so he could go to the back. There's usually 4 small keys in the front half of pod. Usually.
I think he's going for the big key chest.
Yeah. So, odds are if there's a small key here, and then there's 1 small key in the basement so they can recover. Yeah. So this is most likely an item at this point, and then there's a small key and an item on the bow lock side.
So there's our big key.
Yeah, and I'm actually a little surprised that Ninban didn't continue on for a little bit. Took the Death Warp there. There is a hint on the bow lock side, but it's in a place where you can just quickly check it and then warp backwards and then move on. And of course, the hints are something new that we added here in version 30 along with the inverted mode. Basically, all the telepathy hint tiles in the game, with the exception of 2, tell you helpful information about the seed, or sometimes it's just junk information, or just junk hints in general, like there's money in the banana stand, or game at the Isagoma. Those hints are completely null and void in terms of information.
So there's another key. Oh. See that?
And yeah, Data will check the hint here, and it looks like we don't have to check the Firelock side of Misery Mire.
And Ninban found a hook shot.
Nice. But that is currently sequence broken right now. We have to keep that in mind. That requires a lamp, obviously. So he's intended to have a fire source before any one of the hookshot chests.
Yeah, we're gonna see a hammer jump.
Very classic setup here. Doing pause buffers. You can kind of use the tiles on the wall there to position yourself. And it looks like he was just a little too low.
I'm gonna burn the key. That makes sense. He knows he has to come back anyway.
Yeah, we'll have the hammer. How about the boat to get everything out of here?
He does only have one heart, and he did take a death.
Yeah, Kadongo got him in the dark. That's unfortunate, but gonna try again.
Okay. So on Data World side, you are seeing a 3-heart blind, and it's a bit off script. So he's relying on pause buffering to avoid fireballs.
Just major dodging them all. That's actually kind of a smart strategy here. When things go south. I like it.
I'm gonna have to steal that.
I might also have to steal that. Alright, bond jump into number 2, meanwhile for Ninban here.
Ah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, very well executed 3-heart blind. And gets rewarded with armor, so the rest of the seats should be pretty easy. And there's a hammer jump, only for a piece of heart. Very well executed on both of our runners' parts.
So, Data World, what are you gonna do next? I mean, like, I think Pod probably makes the most amount of sense for him.
Yeah, I think Pod is the play. Unfortunately, it looks like the Dark Maze did not give Ninban much of anything.
But he does have a hook shot. And he could take that up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, but that's not currently in logic, but we do know we need
Yeah.
the lamp anyway. So my question now is, where's our lamp? Trying to think of any checks we haven't seen yet that could have our lamp.
I mean, like, it could be... How many keys would we find in
Lamp?
Pod?
Oh my goodness, wait a minute. Lamp could be in 2 locations that I can think of. Catfish, you're in Pyramid. But also, keep in mind, Ninban didn't have the bow for the bowlock side. Our lamp could be in Pod.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that, what happens there. Oh, there's our mirror.
That's also an important item that Ninban didn't pick up. dataworld playing the seed really well.
He's just reading this like a book.
Speaking of the book, we do need that. This is all dungeons and inverted, so the Book of Medora and the Ice Rod are both required, and they could be pretty much anywhere outside of their dungeons. Oh, with exception of the Ice Rod, it could be anywhere except Trinex.
So, does Ninban take the... Does he take the bow back to Pod?
I think you have to.
We'll get a look here on what's on the bow locked side of Pod.
Because let's be realistic here. What could be at the bowlock side other than the lamp? The only thing I can think of is maybe also the Moon Pearl and the hammer, and we just go to Dark World access. And the seed expects you to double dip this dungeon with the lamp later.
You know, also if the lamp shows up and Death Mountain becomes into logic, that also opens up bits and that, and it also opens up bits and pieces of Turtle Rock.
That is true. That is true as well.
Well, we'd have to have Titans, unless we find the Pearl.
Yeah, that too. All right, so the hint here that Ninban did not read. All right, so there's only one of the 4 items in Hookshot Cave is useless, maybe more, because there have been instances in which the specific item was mentioned and there was multiple copies of that specific item.
Well, I mean, it's hard difficulty. I wouldn't call a piece of heart completely useless.
Oh, especially because I think it makes up the majority of the heart containers in the seed. I think the way they make it so you have max HP of 14 hearts, they remove the majority of the normal heart containers, and the rest are made up with heart pieces.
So, just a key
and the lamp. So the hookshot is in logic. Between Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny are in logic, and also Aga.
So Ninban burned a key. So he's going to be forced to go over there anyway. When he actually goes and clears out Pod, it's just a matter of when he returns.
Yeah. When he returns to get that information. And that lamp is somewhat important too, because, well, to be blunt, it's our only source of fire for lighting torches and the like. For puzzles like the West Side Mystery Mire, which we don't have to do. Or maybe we need to do the Tower Hera Basement.
I guess a lot of it's gonna be also when the fire rods show up.
Yeah.
I mean, an early lamp could mean that a fire rod may not be in sight for a while.
Yeah. I kind of like to think, though, that along with Inverted, there is a couple other, like, little niches in the seed. Because in normal seeds, you can backdoor Desert, but you can't backdoor Turtle Rock. And Inverted is the other way around. I also like to think that Misery Mire is just so easily open to you in a couple different ways. But at the same time, Hera is really locked out to you in Inverted. And it's usually flip-flopped. Because Hera, you need to be in the light world, and you need the hammer and the hookshot. Or at least the hammer and Titan's mitts. And the ironic thing is that it also unlocks the same amount of items. 2 items in the dungeon. Oh, actually, no. There's 1 less item in the Hera pool. Because there's also the character board. Maybe it is the same. I don't know.
And how's your 3-heart blind?
Let's see. Ninban seems to be getting the scripted fight here just fine. Going right as it should. Yeah, scripted fight. He should have little to no issue with this. Oh, maybe he got away. Well, he got away for just a little bit, but a nice recovery there all the same. But yeah, the answer is Death Mountain, and we have our first crystal 20 minutes in, but we need all those dungeons lit up down there on that tracker. Yes, including Aga 1. For those, we haven't gone over it yet, but for those who do not know what all dungeons means, even if we get all 7 crystals and defeat Aga 2, it is not enough to make Ganon vulnerable in Phase 4. We also need all 3 pendants dungeons cleared, and we need Aga 1 defeated. And Aga 1 is sitting up at the top of the mountain, so while it's not ideal to fight him, you might as well. And actually, in this case, Aga 1 is nicer to fight first than compared to Aga 2, because Aga 1 leads you nicely to GT in this case, because it's on Hyrule Castle. And when you defeat Aga 2, you're just right there on the castle again, and Ganon is ready to let you into his room. Whereas the other way in standard and open, it's the other way around. You want to do Aga 2 first, and then get Aga 1 for the full heal.
got inverted is Old Man. So Data World is going to have to bring Old Man to the Light World by using the portal at the top of Death Mountain. He'll then drop down and then send him back to where you normally would drop him off at. So it's a lot longer walk.
And we turn to a bunny here in the Light World. There's a heart container on top of Spectacle Rock. We can't get that without the hammer. Speaking of heart containers, though, that was what was at Catfish. They've been checking that. And there's the hammer!
You were saying?
Well, we also need the Moon Pearl, but that's besides the point. Now watch, I say Moon Pearl, now it's going to be inside Spectacle Rock.
I mean, that's part 2 of our Light World access.
No, it's part 3, considering we already had the glove. We'll have full Light World access with the Moon Pearl now, and we can leave Aga 1 for... after we do Hera, actually, which is a pretty nice setup, if I do say so. But yes, someone putting it on chat. Almost could have the Moon Pearl. And it's looking pretty likely at this point, actually. I can't think of any other place we haven't checked yet.
Alright, Ninban. I think he's just gonna go north. He'll just be without the lamp for a while.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but at the same time... at the same time, you really want that lamp because the turtle room is going to be a nightmare. Daryl's going to stay on the mountain, though, and check past the Lionels.
We'll have to see how good Data World's Lionel dodging is. With a hammer, you can kind of knock him out of the way over here.
Yeah, but usually you just tank the fireball on the bridge and then move forward so that they reposition out of your way. Like that.
That works too.
For being really threatening enemies, they're very easy to lure, those Lionels. Just don't give them the chance to hug you. And there's our Moon Pearl and a blue potion as well. So, and our boots.
That was a pretty spectacular hookshot cave.
Yeah, and we had the piece of heart there as well. All right, medallion required to enter to the front of Turtle Rock is Quake, but we can backdoor it. And we have full Light World access now. The Titans only lock one item in Inverted, and that is King's Tomb. At this point. And now the seed is literally wide open for Data World. So it looks like we're going to be starting with Kakariko. I do not blame him because once he's done with Kakariko, he can head over to Escape by going through the Western Woods.
Yeah, it always feels good getting your Light World access before 30 minutes.
Yeah. And I think Data World will be prioritizing Escape here as well, like I said. Because it's Uncle Assured. You know you have Master Sword waiting for you at Uncle. Why not go pick it up? And Hera is our last pendant. I caught a glimpse of that. So our Eastern and Desert are our last two crystals. Alright, time to see how loaded Kakariko is. Gonna start here with the well.
There's a ton of items here, so one place you want to go after getting your Light World access.
Yeah, a total of Well, there's a total of 13 items in town, and there's a total of, geez, I don't know how many in the fringes around town. You can do blacksmiths on the mirror. You can do the boots thing.
Yeah, your south. Also, it opens up your south checks.
Wait, what? How did the character become yellow? There's our magic powder. So now we can try magic powder, and there's yet another. Okay, so Uncle now has tempered for us. So no need to hunt for that sword. Now watch there be yet another sword here, and then we never have to go to Uncle. Because at that point, Uncle will just have a red rupee for us.
That's
a really good investment.
Yeah, it's a reverse scam.
300% return.
So Ninban's looting out his loaded hookshot cave.
Green pile 20? I don't know, when you pull a progressive mail when you don't have it, and there's bombos, that turns into a red 20. We actually seen that earlier in the tournament, in fact. Someone pulled pedestal for red mail and in hard mode, and it was just a red rupee. Yeah, with swordless it would be green in 20s. Absolutely. Was that an important item I just saw there in the race game? It kind of blurred up a bit.
Yeah, he's going for it. Maybe.
No, he's not.
No. Alright, so I'm guessing no.
And 20 at the library. Quick
We're
mirror
gonna-
here to grab the smith.
One of those things that's normally mitts locked, but it's not in this mode.
Yep, we can check magic bat as well. And again, this is Uncle Assured, so there is a guaranteed tempered sword waiting for Dataworld and Uncle. So let's see what Magic Bat has for us here. Oh, that's important. That's our ice rod.
Yep, and yeah, we'll certainly need it. So that's actually one of those things that could be anywhere that we won't have to search for now.
Quick mirror to check the hammer pigs as well. The Otherworld's not leaving anything behind. Very good knowledge regarding the mode.
So actually, so if you think about it, Ninban actually isn't that behind because they both have to dip into pod again anyway.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, like pod was a required double dip due to the placement of the hook shot.
Yeah, and because the lamp is on the way, he'll know that he saved himself a little bit of time. But it could have been far, far worse for him. And Dataworld, meanwhile, is going to go ahead and walk the purple chest in and go over to the plains of that is normally K45's ledge. Or Cape Alpha Grove.
Yeah, there has been a few locations that have been modified in order to make it friendly for inverted.
By which we mean that pretty much any mirror required check is now accessible in the light world just by walking up to it.
Yeah, the graveyard ledge is opened up. We'll probably see a checkerboard cave here as well. There's a bee in a bottle.
And not going over that way makes sense to me, because we don't have a means to go into desert anyway, so it's really just for 2 items.
Yeah, like these south Hyrule checks are gonna be probably the most valuable at this point. There's a fire source.
That's not just a fire source, we already have one, but that's our fire rod. That means we can fight Trinix when we find him. We go up there later.
Oh, that too. So, what that also then means is, that lamp, Ninban may never go for it if he decides to just dive into pod and go mode it.
That is true, I didn't think of that.
If Ninban feels compelled to go back to pod. But he's good. I don't think he's gonna need it.
He may need it.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think of how much magic a tempered silverless fight takes.
Oh, you should be fine. If he gets torch glitch, I'm not worried about that. It's actually Aga 2. Those dark rooms after the second chest are actually kind of rough. And they're not something you practice all the time.
Yeah, I think you would just get Lamp anyway, just because it makes the navigating dark rooms a lot easier, especially with Aga 1.
Yeah. We'll have to see when it shows up for him. But I think he'll be fine for like the next hour or so.
Yes, and yes, Slim Curry is our tracker. Quick shout out to him for keeping those items up to date for you. He's one of the best, I will freely admit that. Far better than I will ever be.
Dataworld's also giving us an early look into Swamp.
And there's a cape.
Yeah, so the cape in hard difficulty will use twice the amount of magic than normal.
If one exception, and that is when in a room that requires invincibility by the logic, which means it'll use normal magic on Laser Bridge, it'll use normal magic on Spike Cave, and use normal magic in the Spike chest in Misery Mire.
Also, Ice Palace too. There's the pit of spikes there that you have to cross. It'll work there too.
That's true as well.
Oh.
And the cane loses its invincibility as well, but that is restored. And that is a useless item, the boomerang. Because something we haven't mentioned yet in hard mode, boomerangs have lost their ability to stun enemies. You can only stun enemies with the hook shot.
But I can grab items still.
Yeah, you can still grab items, you can still throw switches with it. But its main utility has been removed. And we're about to fight Argus here. I can understand this way, but at the same time, we do know about Uncle, and, well, Tempered will make this fight a breeze. But Dataworld thinks... But Dataworld's skilled enough, yeah. He can definitely handle this Master Sword style.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. He was in the area. He was already in the light world at the dam. I have a feeling that Ninban's probably going to do the exact same thing.
And a very nice quick kill there. 3 fire rod shots and a spin. And Agina has a mushroom for us. Ooh, that could be important as well. Unfortunately, that green pendant... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That green pendant, not very worth. We know that from a hint that it's just money.
That's exactly what I was going to say, too. So.
However, we do need all pendants, we do need all crystals, and we need both incarnations of Aga defeated, so... One less dungeon that we have to worry about for Dataworld side, at least.
So you witnessed on Ninban side, that was the flattened out checkerboard cave.
Yeah, and there's only 20 rupees there. Now that 20 rupees... I blinked and saw that it would change, and we have vanilla medallion requirements.
Yeah, either for Misery Mire.
And we just saw a full magic decanter. That is the only way in the game to get magic back. And wow, this mini Moldarm cave was nothing but money. Ouch. But yeah, full magic decanters are pickups still give you full magic meter, whereas drinking a potion only gives you half. Oh, and the powder is kind of useless outside of checking magic powder. We forgot to mention that.
Yep.
There's kind of no anti-fairy to fairy thing in play here. Instead, you get hearts. And you can't bottle fairies. You can still find them, though, and heal.
Alright. I think Ninban's gonna claim his tempered sword. Yeah, combining all dungeons and Uncle Assured swords is, or not all dungeons, but inverted and Uncle Assured swords has been kind of popular among runners. It's gonna be a while before you get to it, so it still mixes things up a little bit, but you still have that guaranteed upgrade, which will make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah. There's a piece of heart.
So Ninban's giving us a look of escape. Oh, here's Arcana Samaria.
Good find. Very, very good find there for Dataworld. That's another piece of the puzzle we're missing. And actually, if the key logic is favorable in Turtle Rock, we can go ahead and clear that.
With a rhyme, but I don't think it's the time. So this fish is just going to give us a big 20. Hashtag terrible rhyming.
Yeah, okay. Zora not giving us that much.
My favorite glitches. Until you do that.
Oh, yeah. Accidentally talking to the ball. All right, Paradox Gate time. Doesn't start out particularly strong, and we're seeing Sahasra at the same time.
I see what Ninban's gonna do here. He's gonna go.
Ether. Titans. Good finds there.
Sahasra was holding out on us. What he's gonna do now is that he's just gonna go ahead and clear out Eastern, and then probably just mirror the pod.
Yeah. We also found the red boomerang, and okay, guess we don't see Uncle from dataworld after all. There's our final sword.
Okay, good. He is gonna get his. All right, so he is gonna get his lantern.
I mean, he has to get the small key from the site anyway, so we might as well see what his last items are. It might be something important. And we're gonna see what Tower Hera holds for us.
So far, basement is optional. Where the map and compass show up at.
And hint here.
Bum bum ba-dum.
Fuel kit because of the green text and the link face. Green text, I think, was added for color blindness, as it was the link face, to make it stand out more. Rupees. Thanks, game. That was a eyeball check.
Some grade A hints here.
Yeah. At least the hints are being specific, not being vague, like saying someone friendly or something like that. That's where things can get a little confusing if you don't know all the nuances of the hint logic, and I certainly don't. I'll say that freely.
Something unique is in plain sight.
Yeah, well, plain
Stuff
sight.
like that.
Yeah, plain sight is simple enough.
True.
But when you get to something like the fishes, someone friendly, in the dark, it's apparently old man on the mountain counts as in the dark. It can get weird, but anyway, while we were talking, Boulder and fell pretty simply. And dataworld is now going back to check the basement. It's a shame it's not Randomizer, but that would not be allowed because we have inverted. But now we just have the boring vanilla hint tile pattern.
Yeah, Ninban's hammering it out with Helmasaur. Getting their differences set aside.
That just reminded me of the Randomizer scene I did the other day in which Helmasaur was in Mafia's arena and the tail just kept spinning non-stop. Just some arrows there. Oh, but wait a minute. I didn't even think of that. Our 3 pendants are available to our runners. Combined, they have all 3 pendants.
We'll just have to see what's on. If somebody goes and like if dataworld does pod.
Well, think about. Oh, hold on a minute here. Based on what we all have, The only thing that could be on pedestal that would be required is the book. Because we don't necessarily need Quake when we can enter and gut out the rest of Turtle Rock from the middle with the mirror and the Cane of Samaria. Silvers would be nice, but they're not required, and you can only use them in Ganon's room anyway. And we have everything else that is required of our runners to find. Combined between the two. We don't need the flute because we can just mirror in the desert to go reach Meyer. So it's literally only the book can be on pedestal for this to be a ped seed, folks. And those odds are pretty slim. Because there's still a lot of game left. And we know that the super bomb is not worth it because of that hint. So, and we've checked Swamp. So that leaves the majority of the trollier locations out of the pool. So our book can... We got 2 items out of Skullwoods. We got everything out of Pod. Desert's book lock. We're looking through Eastern right now, and so far we found nothing. So our book can only be in Ice, Mire, Turtle Rock, or it's somewhere in the overworld.
Some caches in Mimic Cave. So it's not there.
Alright, so, Synac, can I ask you an honest question here? How many of those blue shots do you think Gag is going to fire at dataworld here?
I'm boring, so I'm going to say 3 because that's the mathematically correct play. It's like 31% chance of it being 3 balls.
I'm gonna go up a level. I'm gonna say 4. Slightly above average. Oh, and there's a missed shot. So there will be some extra blue balls for dataworld.
2 blue ball. Ha ha ha.
3.
3. Ah ah ah.
Alright, so there's a guaranteed 3 blue ball, because that would have been GG. Or maybe not. No, I was miscounting my shots. Nope, still 3.
Alright.
Even after missing a shot, he still got lucky there. They only had to do 1 more, or it could have been a lot worse.
So Ninban has completed Eastern Palace and Pod, kind of knocked both of those out. Suspected he's heading south, so I think the Swamp Palace play index is pretty high on Ninban's side.
Yeah, Swamp is in play. Ice is also in play. We haven't actually been at Ice, and that's probably going to be a good location to go to. And yeah, there you go, folks. Uncle Assured Sword is turned into a red rupee. Only in hard mode.
Is Ninban gonna turn in the mushroom? Yeah, this is kind of a really out of the way location and inverted. It's not like you can just flute to 2.
Yeah. Might even opt to buy potions while he's here.
Yeah. I mean, he has lots of money right now, so... And he's already checked Zora.
Yeah, there's not much that money unlocks. All right, so what does our mushroom contain for us today? Here, have my my favorite broomstick. It's kind of worn down over the year, so maybe you can fire it out of your bow.
I mean, put a point on it. Yeah, there you go.
It's already got a point on it. That's where all the bristles were.
All right, now Ninban's gonna stop making a liar out of me.
Yeah, it made sense to do the mushroom shark real quick using the flippers. That portal makes it very convenient.
I mean, so right now it's really gonna come down to who finds the book first.
Yeah, it really does. There's the fire right now for Ninban.
I mean, we know the book can't be in GT. We know that. Because it is a crystal dungeon.
That's right. It could be in Turtle Rock, it could be in Ice, and it could be in Mire. Ideally, they would like to find it in Mire, that way they can mirror back out in front and just warp back to Desert and be right there, ready to pray. Use the book to open up Desert. But given the item density, I would actually say Ice. I would ignore Turtle Rock for the time being because in addition to having just 3 items, which is fairly decent odds, there's 3 hints that can just tell you where the book is. And yeah, Data World, Ice, left Turtle Rock alone is, to be fair, some people probably don't think that, don't think about Turtle Rock's back door. I actually, in my first ever inverted sea when it was still in beta, I didn't think about it until an hour after I was, basically lost in the seed.
So the first actually inverted race I commentated for this tournament, both our runners didn't figure that out for about 30 minutes. They spent about 30 minutes like sequence breaking and running around before they actually went into TR. In fact, this time around it had the Moon Pearl. So it was like on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, and the seed I actually ran recently, that's where the hammer was, and long story short, I last locationed it pretty hard because I forgot about the backdoor logic. That was not a nice time.
So right now on Data World side, he just needs the book, and Ninban needs to find this Samaria in the book.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I don't think silver arrows are gonna be a thing they need to worry about. I think both of them are perfectly capable of doing tempered blind.
Yeah, tempered silver.
Or tempered
silverless.
silverless.
Tempered silverless Ganon, yeah.
Yep.
There's only 12 spin attacks. It's if you're on point with your magic consumption with the fire rod, it's not that bad, but they do have the lamp. So this is gonna be Pod Eastern for clear for Data World. Now, what's nice here is that if Data World will have a choice after this. And the choice is Data World can go to Skull and potentially check Pedestal and then fight them off, which he'll have to do regardless. Or he can go to Turtle Rock and full clear that. And given the fact that Fire Rod has not shown any value just yet, it's probably it could be an idle location, but maybe checking the pedestal is not a bad idea at this point.
Well, yeah, once he finishes pod, he'll be able to blind pull it.
Yeah, Ninban will have a little bit longer to do that. But
Yeah.
Ninban does everything. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh no, go ahead.
Ninban, I think, does have everything. No, does Ninban not have the Cane of Samaria?
I forgot, where was that at again?
I forget as well.
Help us.
Was it Left Side Swamp? I need to see Ninban's menu.
Oh, Waterfall Cave?
Okay, yeah, Ninban hasn't been there yet.
And it might be a bit then. So he must not have done Zora.
Yeah. So it's gonna be looking like... Actually, no, I'm gonna say it outright. I think Turtle Rock is the play. There's 5 items in there. We have access to all of them, as well as the boss kill. And right now, it is one of the most isolated dungeons we can reach. Pretty textbook Helmosaur fight so far from dataworld. Running into the mask a little bit. Has to be a little careful here. There we go. Well executed from dataworld. And that marks the 3rd and final pendant at our runner's disposal. And gets us a nice Crow refill after dealing with the Armos Knights. Alright, so, Dataworld, where are you going? Going to save and quit, so he starts on Hyrule Castle here. This looks to be check the back of escape play.
Yeah, right now both runners are just retracing each other's steps.
Oh, Ninban's actually gonna check Ice Rock Cave. Have we seen this yet?
I think we did.
Well, did we see the hint here at Ice Rock Cave?
Did we? No. Wait.
If you mirror here at Ice Rock Cave and invert
Yeah.
it, you can lift up the rock, and there's a hint. We're just waiting for you to read it. And he's got the mirror out. He's gonna check it. Good knowledge on Ninban. This is normally a very out of the way hint, but in inverted, just a quick mirror away.
Like the only other time you'd ever come up here is an entrance rando and maybe retro.
And today the hint says,
Thanks, game.
thanks, game. Not helpful at all. But, could have been. Actually had that tell me where my go mode was once. 3rd bottle for dataworld. That hint in vanilla, I believe, tells you that it's a good chance to get magic from shattering frozen enemies. Which is true in vanilla. You usually get full magic decanters if you do that.
Yeah, it's kind of where we get the concept of like a stun prize. Is exactly that. Except that we randomize what that prize is.
Yeah.
Randomizer.
I think the stun prize and the freeze prize are 2 different things entirely, but not many people check it to make sure. And I could be dead wrong on that. I actually haven't science. And this is a play into Ice Palace for Ninban. This is new information here. And Data's gonna go to Skull, but is not gonna be in a position to check the pedestal. So, thanks, game. Very helpful hint there. Oh, wait a minute. Did Dataworld remember? I think he did.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we might be seeing a pedestal play.
Now, this is actually just in general, like if you have to make your way into Skull Woods, like for a second time, like this is actually the better way of doing it anyway in inverted.
Yeah. First item found in ice, only 5 rupees.
This is a lot faster than walking through the dungeon.
Oh yeah. In fact, if you can do the reverse, and after you finish them off, you can mirror at the very bottom and escape. All right, folks, pedestal hype. We're getting a blind pull. The 3 pendants lead us to a heart container. Pet is dead. Not required this seed. But a little extra help doesn't hurt. I'll say that much.
Oh boy.
And there was a hint for it that Ninban just found in ice. If Dataworld was 5 seconds later, Ninban would have killed the hype completely before we even saw the item.
That's a almost well timed.
Oh man, that would have been great. But anyway, now it's time for Dataworld to enter the back of Skull Woods here.
Alright.
And we'll get a third hint here from Ninban. Let's see if the information in Ice Palace was worth checking. So bonds required the boots. Nope. So unless the book, so we have no hint currently to where the book is, but it's most likely now in Turtle Rock. Or it could be in Mire. I almost forgot about Mire.
We're still looking for items also in ice.
That is true. But it's looking more and more like it's actually going to be Turtle Rock that holds the book. And the moth is down for Dataworld. Alright. Vanilla Bakey's just here for Ninban. What do we got inside? Anything good? Map and compass are on right side. Hammer locked in ice, so... Ooh. No, hammer was before fire. Never mind. I'm sure there's only a heart container here. Have we seen the thief's hideout here? Oh ho ho! Hello there, Flute. Flute found by Ninban. That's, I believe, our second item here in ice. So one left. Flute is not really that helpful right now.
I mean, like, if he's in the area, he'll probably activate it, but we'll have to see. Because there's... Yeah, it doesn't open up anything. It's simply mobility at this point.
Yeah. And there's the third item. So it's either Mire or it's Turtle Rock. And Data's going to go ahead and check what Ago is locking. I didn't actually see what this was.
I don't think either runner checked it.
Oh, it's a shovel! Oh, could our book be buried?
The lumberjack shovel.
I mean, they have to plant the sapling somehow. I guess they just lost their shovel.
Oh, be careful, Ninban.
Yeah, Ninban can hide at the top of the room here, but
There we go.
Yeah, clean cold stair fight right there.
Yeah, those puffs, they do a lot of damage if you hug them.
Okay, so that's something interesting to note. Coldster had a key, which means this dungeon was, by logic, Samaria locked.
That'll be useful for Ninban. Like, that will tell him a lot of where his cane is at.
Yeah, it will tell him a lot. And what Titus is, we're actually going to see what's at King's Tomb as well.
Speaking of finding Samaria.
Yeah, he's about to go find that now. There's the third medallion. And Dataworld, I don't think, has been over in the Mire area. So, he's now assured that he can go into Mire. Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, it is book for go. And both runners do have the cape. I believe that was in Thief's Town. Or, no. We did find the cape at some point. I just forget where. And I know both runners have it, though. Small key, map, money in the escape. Oh yeah, cape was in Swamp, that's right. It was in the southern chest. Because we were talking about it earlier, that's there was an invincibility item that puts laser bridge in logic. And the flute is coming online now for Ninban. Now the question is, where does he take that flute? Alright, Shovel, what do you lead to us? The book!
Oh,
the book is
boy! It's
Agaga is acquired early. Ladies and gentlemen, Dataworld is now in go mode at a time of 1:07:40. Book that had to be dug up, and you had to fight Aga.
So, wow. I have no words. So, this is going to be a very fast seed for Data World, and it's just going to be a matter of when Ninban is able to decide to do Aga 1. Because he might be waiting to like pair that in with some other checks, and that probably going to hurt him here, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Dataworld's in go mode. Does not need the silver arrows, doesn't care about the silvers at this point. And immediately finds the big key.
He's like, nope, I'm out of here now.
What a seed, though. So, Dataworld neglecting Turtle Rock does hurt him a little bit still, but not as much as it could have. Aga was the right call to make up there on the mountain. But he
All right.
does have at least another mountain climb in his future. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Oh, no, I said Ninban finished Skullwoods. Claimed his crystal.
And yeah, so Shovel was Lumberjack, and Shovel led to the book, which was our missing piece of the puzzle here today. It was a book for Go mode. Dataworld should make short work of the moldworms. I did it again. I get this boss and the land mold is that they actually are mixed up so many times. It's not even funny anymore.
I also want to say this is a really early Gomo for an all dungeon seed.
It really is, yeah. This will be easily sub 2, maybe even sub 150. I might be lowballing it even still. But it is hard mode, so there might be a little bit of a wall when it comes to Vitreous and Trinex if you're not paying too much attention. So, if there's a hint that helps Ninban, it's in Turtle Rock in the front, or it's in the cutscene chest here in Misery Mire, and it'll tell him the book is buried. The book can be dug up. That is the only hint that is related to the book that he's missing. And it could still be a unique item can be dug up. Which he'll know means the shovel's required because the only item that was quote-unquote dug up was 20 rupees. And we know that was 20 rupees because how early Ninban checked it. Yeah, all the 3 of these remaining dungeons for Dataworld can be potentially very short depending on the key placement. But that's the thing about Turtle Rock, is it does take into account the backdoor logic. And yeah, quick key here, big key here for Misery Mire.
So fast Mire.
Fast Mire.
Ice Palace will be fast.
Yeah, because you can just skip all the keys there. And if there's a small key and a big key on Laser Ridge, Turtle Rock is just done. Just go to Laser Ridge and be done. Yeah, it's strange to think about, but Ganon's Tower can be faster than Go Mode Swamp, or not Ganon's Tower. Turtle Rock Go Mode in Inverted can be faster than Swamp Palace Go Mode. If you're usually cutting, what, 3 minutes of dungeon out?
Yeah, it sounds about right. That's like literally just Laser Bridge and then Trinex. Up to Trinex, assuming that you get favorable key logic.
Yeah, 5 floors, 5 rooms instead of 4 floors worth of room dungeon.
Yeah, like it would require like we said before, the big key and a small key would have to be on the bridge. Otherwise, we are diving the rest of the dungeon.
This is an important thing to note, though. With the with Turtle Rock, if we can start at Laser Ridge and work our way completely through the back, that is beneficial to us in the long run. Because we can just start on the bridge and just move backwards through the dungeon until we find the big key, and then mirror, and then we're back at Laser Bridge. But the key logic has to allow for that as well.
So Ninban is going to give us a look at the rest of Mire. He's still looking for that book. We know where it's at, but let's be a matter of when he decides to go for the shovel.
Yeah, Ninban was smart and took out Aga when he defeated Moldworm. Or no, that was Dataworld, my mistake. And that's really what gave Dataworld the win here, is defeating Aga early. Because as inverted, it's a lot more valuable to have Aga dead sooner rather than later in all dungeons. Because that means no matter what, GT is just a quick mirror away.
So Data World is opting not to do ice first. He's probably gonna, because he has to go. Yep, never mind. That makes sense.
And there's a fire shield there if he wants it.
Dead rock, please.
And the fairy was not nice. Yeah, gonna start with Turtle Rock here.
Okay.
There's the other shield. We're at full equipment level now for Data World. I'll never know where that red mail was.
There's our small key we're looking for.
Blue cane would be helpful here.
Big key? Big key?
Big key!
Alright, we have ourselves the God TR.
Only in inverted, but it exists. Oh, geez. I just saw something. We'll get to that in a little bit, though. Pause buffering, try next. Try to make sure that the shots count here.
Alright.
Ooh.
No. Oh, yeah.
Has to take the death there.
Sorry, go ahead.
He ran out of magic, just plain simple.
Yeah, I mean, he is saving the laser bridge. It's not that much of a time loss, but it still feels bad.
Yeah.
And plus, he doesn't know where his opponent is at, so he could definitely still be feeling pressure right now.
Yeah. That's one of the things about randomizers. Unlike a normal race in which the opponents can look at each other's screens, that is actually not allowed in randomizer because, well, that would be cheating if you knew where your opponent was and knew what items they had found.
Plus, what would be the fun in that?
Exactly. Ooh, stepped on the toe and made it's that he'll have to hit his head 3 times. Gets it done, but now there's ice to deal with.
Oh.
Yeah, that's plenty of magic, but it has to be able to hit the head. Gets one good set of wax in. And Ninban is looking to head over to Aga. Or at least Tower Harhara again.
Alright, so he got the ice head down.
Yep, and this is an okay position here for the quick kill. Gets it! Very well executed there. All that is left for Data World is Ice Palace.
That brought a tear to my eye.
And we have a red potion as well.
The red potion will heal 7 hearts of health, so that's a pretty good find.
Yeah. Instead of a full heal, it's pretty much a half full heal, if you think about it, considering its max hearts is 14. So now it's time for ice, and then it'll be time for Ganon's Tower. Sorry.
Now, here's the thing. Will Ninban backtrack through the rest of TR to try to find the book?
Probably, yeah. Dataworld, though, this is his last crystal.
Oh, yes, it is. And this is going to be a blink and you miss it dungeon.
Yeah, so I actually know a thing. I don't know how to work the thing, but I know a thing.
Oh, I know how to work the thing.
Okay.
Do you want to explain the thing, though? There is a leaderboard now.
Yes. So, folks, we here at ALTTPR Randomizer have now got our own Big Key Guessing game in chat. Everyone's open to play it. And we'll be opening that pretty shortly after this dungeon is done. So make sure to hold your guesses and make sure you are ready for that game, because we're only going to have maybe 15 seconds to play it. But how the game works is there are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower, one of which has the big key we are seeking in order to finish this seed, open up the way to Agatu, and defeat Ganon. Give us a number in chat when we start the game, and tell us which number you think Ganon's Tower big key is. We'll be going by the order of the chests selected by Dataworld when he gets into the tower.
Since it will be a pretty fast cutover, I already see guesses right now. Hold your horses, guys. So since the cutover is going to be pretty fast over to GT because of inverted, we'll probably start it as Cold Stare is being fought.
Yeah, that makes sense. Give him a little bit more time.
So the leaderboard on the ALTTPR channels works a little bit differently. It's not based on the number of times you've won, but it's also based off of how many people were actually playing the game when you won. So you score points based on them. So more players equals more points for you if you win.
That's right. And it's open to everyone, unlike the Speed Gaming bot, which is locked to sub or source supporters to this channel series. So even you guys without that star next to your name can play.
Though we do appreciate if you do put a star next to your name.
Yes. All right. The Cold Star fight begins now, as does the game.
Get in your guesses.
I'm going to get my guess in there, too. And my guess is going to be, I'm going to guess chest number 7 today. Oh, no, that's actually taken. I'll guess 10. I think it's going to be someone early, a big key. The curveball with the book was enough. What about you?
I went with 20. Just because it's not quite Tile Room. And Tile Room bot does demand his Tile Room, though. So 22 might be the best number.
And I see our tracker Slim has picked 8. And of course, we are on ALTTPR Randomizer. We do have a restreamer there. They're in Danny. I don't quite see if Danny is in chat here giving a guess. All right, we're gonna start with the torch. The torch has the big key. It's item location 1.
Don't mirror. Yep. Yeah, don't mirror him, Data World. Yeah. Now.
What?
Mirror. What was this? We had both a God TR and a God GT.
We had a God.
And a God Fire.
That's insane. So, who was the first one to guess 1? The winner was Lobster Kitty.
Lobster Kitty has won the Ganon's Tower Big Key game with an exact guess of 1. Has scored himself 14 points. 14 fake internet points.
Yeah, very nicely done. Well played. I didn't think the scene would be that nice, but apparently like I said, the troll on the book was enough. Because look how much it's thrown Ninban off here.
So in our hype, Ninban did find silver arrows.
Yeah, he did. Can't use them until Ganon's room, but it's not going to be enough to pull him back out of the lead unless dataworld has a really hard time with this climb.
So Ninban's on 1 heart, so he needs to avoid getting sniped.
Yeah, and he's avoiding Aga Tower.
That's unfortunate. I mean, like, he could do Hera and then mirror back to Aga Tower. That might be what his plan is.
Yeah. Which, it makes perfect sense.
Wait, did he never check Paradox Cave?
Never took Paradox, which, granted, it didn't have much.
Yeah.
But if Ninban's holding on to dear life that Aga won before Aga 2, or after Aga 2, it's not going to be worth holding on for that full heal. We know the seed requires it, and quite honestly, it's much more, it's just faster to have Aga 1 dead so you have the quick restart point to the Gan's Tower. And the fairy's not having any of it anything to do with Ninban there, unfortunately. Just flying down the cliff. It's like, nope, I'm out. Find your own healing elsewhere. And dataworld's on to the final floor here before Aga 2. Gonna check these chests, and maybe in the hopes of finding silvers. And Molder 2 has fallen.
Easy peasy. We'll see what's in the... Yeah, he's gonna open it.
Yeah, if that was Sankar, that would have been a nice full heal. But just a piece of heart. So now it's time for geometry in the form of Aga 2. Teleports will be the same for both runners. That is how we make it fair. Is that we do seeded sets for Aga 1 and Aga 2 and Ganon. Also to some of the bosses as well.
That was a triple.
Yeah, very nice triple.
And a double.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1.
Easy as that.
Not quite the Zooter limerick, but it's still good. And with Aga 2 down, it is now time to fight the pig, ladies and gentlemen. Tempered sword in hand, 12 slashes per phase in the Trident phase and the Fire Vet phase to advance them to phase 3, the Ground Stomp phase. Ganon will teleport randomly throughout the room. When he stops, we hit him with a sword before he can shoot those fire bats to make us annoyed, and he will break the floor slowly. Afterwards, we will be in phase 4 of the Darkness technique. Keep the torches lit, and this is where the silverless strats come in. As Ganon begins to teleport, he is vulnerable for only a couple frames, so we do spin attacks in order to make sure we can hit him during that time. It will be 12 spin attacks to finish Ganon off for Data World. If he had silver arrows, those we instead stun Ganon after he's done teleporting, but before he teleports away, and then release 4 silver arrow shots, and we can sometimes get doubles and even triples. And we're already on to phase 3. So dataworld's gonna be setting up the torch glitch here, which basically if we can get that left torch lit before the right torch goes out, the right torch will never go out. In for Silver's and Turtle Rock, he's gonna mash the torch here, or just use as little magic as possible. And the torch glitch is kind of a necessity for Silverless as well. Now, it has to be careful not to get tagged by these fire bats. This is what makes the Silverless so hard. Or in my opinion. Because those fire bats, they have no knockback of their own. But if you're pushing in a certain direction, they have all the knockback in the world. And can easily knock you into a pit if you're not careful. And also has to be careful not to get too close to Ganon. Getting closer now. And get your GGs in chat for dataworld. The winner of this race between these two. And we'll be going into game 3 actually in the next couple of hours here. So let me go ahead and get you that finish time here from IRC. Dataworld's finish time was first place with a time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 30 seconds. GG! We'll see if he wants to be interviewed, Dataworld. Now, folks, at 4:30, these two have a game 3. It's looking like we will not have a restream for it, at least in English, but there will be a French restream of that third race on ALTTPR Randomizer Francis, if you want to go tune in to that, if nothing else. But if we can get the crew together, you might see it in English. We'll try. Oh, I misspoke, actually. It's 3:30, not 4:30. Yeah, let's see if we can get Dataworld in here for the interview. Yeah, it's just an amazing time for Dataworld in all dungeons Inverted Sea, on hard no less. And we are now joined by Dataworld. GG's to you, sir. What a great seed. You managed to play that very well.
GG. I'm still unhappy I didn't manage to get a sub 130, but yeah, this was a great seed. Very fast.
Yeah. You had... And it was really nice to you, other than that book. We looked around. We didn't see a single hint that told you where the book was.
Well, I think the book was about the nicest thing to me for the seed, since it was kind of in an out-of-the-way location, and you had to clear Aga before doing Northern Light World to get the book early, so yeah.
So I'm going to give you something that was kind of funny for us here on this end. You pulled the pedestal and told us it was a heart container. Not 5 seconds later, Ninban read a hint in Ice Faust that told us what was on Ped.
Yeah. Still worth it though. In hard mode, every heart container counts. So.
Yeah. But it would have been very funny because had you been a little bit slower on pulling that pedestal, Ninban would have just immediately killed the hype for us. But yeah, book on at Shovel, with Shovel being behind Aga 1. Aga 1 being required earlier rather than later in an inverted is not that bad, especially for all dungeons, because you get that easy mirror save quit option.
Yeah, definitely, and I wanted to route in the castle as well, so I could do, if I found a key, I would have went all the way through, then routed my way to pedestal and done muff after with the mirror.
Yeah.
So I think that worked out well, but was doing Aga early is always nice and inverted. Also,
it's a shame that Uncle didn't have anything for you. It was just what, 20 rupees for you? Wasn't it supposed to be a sword? That's right, you had tempered already at that point. It didn't really matter.
Yeah, I kind of forgot I was playing on hard mode, so I thought, well, should I pick up Butter Sword? I mean, it saves time on Cold Stare. I guess I'll pick it up.
And then you realized, oh.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that after you're getting your light world actually didn't go beeline for that, because that would have been your Master Sword at the time.
Well, Master Sword is not that much faster than Fighter Sword. At least on most bosses. And I just wanted to get as much, because the moment we entered Light World, we were pretty much 2 items away from Go mode, maybe 3: Fire Rod, Book, and Cane. So I just wanted to get in as many quick checks as possible.
Yeah. And let me put it this way: your routing through Pod was just perfect, or at least your routing beforehand, because you found the bow well before Ninban did. And that lets you get the lamp, which told you check the mountain. Now, he did eventually get up the mountain just shortly after you, but he didn't have the lamp at the time. But yeah, your routing overall was just super clean.
Yeah, I like my routing, but it also happened to turn out this way. Doing Skull Woods into Hype Cave is very consistent, but it can also be really bad if the big chest in Skull Woods or the back of Skull Woods has something. So
yeah, and
like I
was alluding to earlier, you do have a 3rd race scheduled for later today. Like I also said that we are not currently equipped to give out English restream for that, but there is a French one available on Speed Gaming if anyone's interested in checking that out. What were your who vetoed what on that one?
I let Ninban veto first, and he vetoed Swordless, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. And I vetoed Defeat Ganon second.
Alright, so for those of you who are wondering what that will be, that means we had all dungeon standard, randomized swords, hard difficulty, and Randomizer for that 3rd seed. So even if you aren't a French speaker, I would probably tune into that race just to see the results of that, because that's going to look pretty exciting.
Well, it's still standard Randomizer, so only the bosses are randomized.
I suppose that's true. And Ninban finds the book and does some rage digs.
Alright, thanks for commentating, and thanks to a tracker as well. And thank you for watching, guys.
Yeah.
I'll be watching Ninban finish up.
Yeah, thank you, dataworld. GG to you once again, our winner of this race. Now we're going to be moving on here for Ninban, finishing up his last dungeon, Desert Palace. This will be his final one before the Aga attack. gets Ganon's tower climb. Jeez, I'm getting my words mixed up. So this is just pretty much straightforward here. Ninban does hit the silver arrow, so it'll make things easier. So what do you think about this race, Synek?
I think overall it was pretty good. Like it's just really, it just Ninban ended up last locationing his Book of Medora, which was unfortunate.
Yeah. Wanted to save Aga for the very end, I think, for the full heal, but it's not really a good idea in Inverted, to be perfectly honest. It's great in all dungeons outside, in open and standard, but Inverted, it just doesn't sync up very neatly. But Ninban is about to go fight their Lammolas. We'll be entering Ganon's Tower. We know it's a Bakion torch, so hopefully he checks that first.
I mean, we don't even know what's in the 2 hope chests, so if
Yeah.
a small key shows up, he could go full left. He could end up doing full right. We'll have to see how that pans out for him.
Yeah, which would be unfortunate. But it will be fairly quick to find that Biggie. He's not going to miss it. It's in plain sight. And nice double kill on the Lammolas. That's something you don't see very often.
I mean, anytime you can sub 2 in all dungeons, though, that's always feels good, no matter what. You got some really forgiving item placement. It's just that book kind of could throw you for a ride. And Ninban is also going to immediately discover his key.
Yep.
But Ninban,
Ninban.
turn around, Ninban.
He fired an arrow.
They,
He remembers real quick. He's like, oh, whoops.
that's really a mistake you do like once and then never again, where you climb GT without any keys. It happened to me in a key sanity race. It was actually the one against Andy. I went up with 0 keys, and there happened to be one of the 4 keys that were in the pool. This happened to be up there.
Yeah. So now we're gonna see Ninban start up, or approaching the gauntlet here.
Those Beamoses were not showing any mercy.
Yeah, unfortunately another death there for Ninban, but it's a little bit of a refill at least. This hard mode does not show very much mercy. So while we have some time here, folks, I do want to mention a couple other races that are going to be going on in the near future. On Link to the Past Randomizer 2, actually, we will have Elminster RTA versus Phyleon. That is the last race for Elminster, and if he wins, he has locked himself into his group to move on to the bracket stage. And that one will be all dungeons, open, Uncle Assured, hard, key, sanity.
Yeah,
that's going to be starting here in about 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, that will be a fight.
And as far as other matches are concerned for the day that we have confirmed, we have at 3:30 as well. No, ACMLM versus Prier, that will be on Speed Gaming 4. Hitsuyen 1337 versus Makan at 4:30, that's on Speed Gaming 3. And tonight on Speed Gaming 5, we have Maximum Barnage versus The Lane. And there are several other matches throughout the day, of course. And we'll try to get a couple of them restreamed, but odds are most of them we will not. If we were able to try to restream every single match in this tournament, we would be overworked severely. So once again, I'm going to shout out our tracker Slim Kirby here, my co-commentator Sinek, and of course our restreamer Danny for getting this match restreamed for us at the very least here. Make sure to give them a follow as well as our runners. They've done an excellent work here.
Why did that bomb must have been just 1 pixel too far away.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, unfortunately. Yeah, let me get those follow links in chat, actually. And just one last reminder, folks, that these two do have a third race scheduled just over an hour away from now. We do not currently have a restream set out for it in English, but there will be one on Speed Gaming Francis, the French restream for Speed Gaming, for that race. So if you want to see the conclusion between these two, be sure to tune in over there once this race concludes. If nothing else. Alright, Ninban's through the wizard floors onto the 2 torch puzzles, and doesn't have a lot of magic, but the lamp doesn't need a lot, to be honest. And yes, folks, just as one quick reminder here, this was all dungeons, inverted, Uncle Assured hard difficulty. And the race that will be featured on speedgaming.francis or here or somewhere here in English, I'm not sure where. That one will be all dungeon standard randomized hard Randomizer.
Yeah, so the third game between Ninban and dataworld will be French only. So brush up on your high school French if you want to watch that.
Yeah. It's more than likely at this point that we will not be able to, unfortunately, restream the Game 3 here. Alright, Ninban defeats Moldorm 2. It's now time for him to do the geometry fight that is Aga 2 and finish the seed up.
So while he's fighting Aga 2, some interesting thing to know about Ninban is that he's French. He speaks French, so he'll be right at home on that French restream. Plus, he's also somebody who developed the tracker on the ALTTPR channels. He maintains the version that we use, so he does a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna ask Ninban in advance because there is a delay here for us. If he wants to do get prepared for the interview now, or does he want to skip it?
Ganon hugs her. Yeah, getting hugged by Ganon.
Yeah. Ganon's not giving him any favorable patterns here, and oh, walked into Ganon again. Oof. That's something you don't see every day. Walking into the door to get to what is Ganon's tower, and then getting sent into the fight against Ganon.
Only an inverted.
Only an inverted. And only with boots too. I might do that for some lull strats. Nice spot dodge there.
Oh, and now, yep, he's through the hard part.
Yeah.
And he has silvers, so phase 4 won't be nearly as bad here.
Yeah, he is doing his best to stay alive.
Be careful, Ninban.
No! Ah, that stinks. That really stinks. That's the fire badge attack you don't want to see in phase 3 Ganon, because you can get hit during the ground pound. Now it's done, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you really want to hit Ganon sooner than later in phase 3.
Alright, we believe Ninban. You can do it.
Yeah.
So another thing is that in order to grab the ferry that's south of the hole, you have to go to the Dark World first as well. So it's not like you can also get a fast refill. Alright, I think that's everything. Yep. He's in phase 3 again.
Ooh, careful. One hit. One heart.
Ew.
Ganon, not playing nice here with the teleports either. There we
Yeah,
go.
once you engage Ganon once, that RNG is different. So it's the same the first time for both runners.
Very quick Ganon, too. Get your GGs in the
yeah.
chat for Ninban. That was a rough Ganon fight, but he gets it done. So we'll see if Ninban wants to join us here. But yeah, just a really good seed here. I would, if he doesn't want to interview, I'd understand it, but we'll see if he wants to give us a few quick words here before he starts setting up and mentally preparing for his third match here. Once again, folks, it doesn't look like we will be restreaming it to you in English, but Speed Gaming Francis, the French restream channel for Speed Gaming, will be picking it up and hosting it in their respective language. And they also have German and Spanish languages as well. Of course, they have the original Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, so make sure to give those a follow as well if you don't want to miss any of the randomizer action for the Link to the Past fall tournament. And once again, folks, make sure to follow these runners as well. They put on an excellent race for us today.
So
And oh, that's where our third mail was. It was actually on Zora. It wasn't 20 rupees. I didn't even notice that. And it looks like Ninban has not responded to me in IRC, but it looks like we will not be getting in. So we're just going to go ahead and close this off. Once again, GG's Ninban and Data World. Make sure to give these runners a follow here on Twitch. And make sure to give my co-commentator, Synek, a follow, our tracker, Slim Kirby, and of our restreamer, Danny, a follow as well. Those links are in the description as well. And make sure to give Links to Best Randomizer and Links to Best Randomizers 2, 3, 4, and 5 a follow. As well as the Speed Gaming things 1 and Speed Gaming 2 through 6 to follow as well. So you can stay tuned to all Link to Best Randomizer action that happens. Well, with that being said, that's going to do it for us here. So from all of us here at A Link to the Past Randomizer, I have been Wolfling0370, and we shall see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good day, afternoon, everyone.
have a good afternoon.